Batman Holy Terror is a one-shot DC story that came out of the Batman Elseworlds comics back in 1991. He comes from an alternate history where the English general Oliver Cromwell recovered from his battle with malaria and strengthened his hold over England, which caused Puritanism to take over the country for generations, leading into a full-on theocracy that also spread into most of America, including this world's Gotham, which was known as Gotham Town. It is here that this Earth Thomas Wayne was the head physician for the Gotham Privy Council, but like most worlds, this Thomas and his wife Martha would be murdered one night, leaving behind their orphan son Bruce. The murder was investigated by Inquisitor James Gordon of this dimension, who thought there was more to this than met the eye. He brought it up to higher-ups, who quickly dismissed it as acts by a common thug, which only made the guy even more suspicious, who befriended the heartbroken Bruce during this time. 20 years later, we see the young Bruce has all grown up into a young man and announced to Alfred that he was going to join the clergy. Also, he was extremely jacked. Most buff pastor goes to Pastor Bruce Wayne right here. It is here that he is met by his old friend Jim Gordon, who is now Gotham's High Inquisitor. In secret, he had continued his investigation of the Wayne's murders, and it turns out that covertly, Thomas and Martha had been providing medical attention to people that the Puritans of Gotham considered lower class, such as homosexuals and prostitutes. Seeing this as a crime, the Privy Council had the Waynes murdered and then proceeded to cover it up. Dark stuff, guys, I know, but hey, this is Batman after all. It gets dark. Confirming this information from a lost journal he found from his father, a shocked and betrayed Bruce Wayne vowed to use his faith and power to bring his parents' murders to justice. He proceeds to join the clergy and becomes a minister. Praying to God for guidance, Bruce would use the church's files to lead him to the High Council, who helped organize the Waynes' demise. Finding the contact information of a member of the council who was still alive at the time of his parents' death, Bruce channels his usual emo darkness and dons a demon costume from one of the old Passion plays that his dad was in when he was younger. Becoming the Batman, Bruce then interrogates the old council member, who informs him that the murder goes even higher than him and was an act of the members of Star Chamber, which was the state's highest and most secure court. Using his skill as a minister to move his way up the ranks of the church, Bruce then was able to get access to Star Chamber, where he then donned his costume once again and fought his way through the chamber guards to get access to their most secure wing. Believing he had made his way to the council, Bruce was surprised to find something much more dark and disturbing, which was metahumans being contained and experimented on by the church council members. One of the first he came across was this world's Barry Allen, aka the Flash, who was trapped in a cell. With their combined intellect, Batman was able to help Barry escape from his prison, where Barry introduced him to some of the horrors going on. Some of these experiments consisted of a rapidly aging child, an alternate version of Aquaman who went crazy and drowned, and even a bizarre mer creature who they forced to mate with Aquaman when he was still alive, where they gave birth to half-human fish hybrids. Yeah guys, just when you think the story could not get any more disturbing, it did. Not long after this, the men are approached by a superpowered witch who had been brainwashed to work for the Star Chamber Council. Using their combined power, the men were able to defeat her, where they are met by the Star Chief Scientist Saul Erdel. Swearing to stop him for what he had done, Flash sped at the man, only for him to activate a kill switch that disrupted Flash's system, causing him to burn up and disintegrate on the scene. Horrified at what he had witnessed, Batman lunged at Erdel, only for the scientist to summon a clay-faced-like metahuman of this Earth. The creature was able to knock Bruce out, where Erdel, through typical mad scientist fashion, introduced Bruce to some of the other experiments. One of these was even the strung-up dead body of this Earth Superman who had been turned into the church by the Kents. While they attempted to control him when he was younger, Erdl could not, and killed the Man of Steel using the piece of kryptonite that he had from his ship as a baby. Guys, let's just keep this story away from Zack Snyder, okay? Knowing him, he would love to put this in a movie, and I don't need that kind of heartbreak on the big screen. Although never meeting this Superman in this life, Batman felt a near multiversal connection with him that caused him to feel great sorrow and anger, which further fueled his vengeance. He then managed to break free of Clayface's grasp, where he knocked him into a container of liquid nitrogen and broke the villain to muddy pieces. Having enough of the Dark Knight's insolence, Erdl finally broke out the Glock to clean Batman's clock and open fire on the hero, only for him to dodge, and the gunfire bounced off Superman's bulletproof body, which then hit the scientist through the heart and killed him instantly. Smiling at the friend that he could never have, Batman makes his way further up the Star Chamber stairs, where he comes across an elderly magistrate. Demanding details on the executions, the magistrate, in a rather arrogant demeanor, tells the hero that the executions are decided on secret unrecorded ballots, so that none of them feel directly responsible for taking a human life. From the dude's explanation, Batman concludes that he must hold the entire Puritan theocracy responsible for the death of his parents, and swears to dismantle this form of government by whatever means necessary. He leaves the man alone and continues his double life as a minister and Batman, confident that his path is one of true obedience to God.